Do you remember the first story that was so spellbinding that it drove you to break the rules and stay up all night? To keep reading, keep listening, keep playing? So good you forgot your life and lived there?
So good that the moment it ended, you asked yourself, what next?
Welcome to the floor. Our goal is to take you back, take you deeper, to explore and understand more, and relive that childlike wonder.
Join us as we dive deep into humanity's greatest stories, no matter how they are told, through books, movies, television, even games.
One of us does an in-depth research on our topic. One of us is familiar with the topic.
And one of us knows nothing. So the right questions will always be asked and will be addressed for anyone coming into the topic, regardless of how much you know.
Enjoy another world, another adventure, another spellbinding story. Join us on the floor.
Welcome back to the Xenoverse. Last time we introduced the Predator and the Junta, and this time...
Wait, no, not... And the Junta.
The Junta. Yeah,
Predator or the Junta. Like,
right.
It's a different name for the same thing.
The movie and the creature and all of that, and how the story began. This time we're going to talk about how the Alien universe and the Predator universe merged together to create Aliens versus Predator.
A lot of people didn't like those movies. A lot of people didn't like the second one.
Oh, really? The second one? I'm surprised they went on to make more than. That really surprises me.
I think the first one's great. I think it's solid.
I liked them both.
Yeah, it comes out in 2010, and then,
Wow.
I'm sorry, 2004.
Yeah.
And then the second one, Requiem, comes out in 2007.
When does Predator come out?
1980, like The Predator?
No, Predator, the very first one.
Yeah, The Predator. 1986, I think.
Wow. Because, I mean, that's 25 years after Alien, and 20 years after Predator that we get this blend. Wow. That's crazy.
So in our other Alien episodes, we talked about like the incubation period.
Mm-hmm.
This was just incubating for a lot longer because of how powerful these movies were. In my opinion, I thought the first one was just so cool. The second one was just good fights.
There's some good fights. I just don't like the overall plot line and things of it. They
kind of ruined the universe. They're kind of like, well, we'll just be hot and heavy. It doesn't really matter.
I would have rather had the continuation story from the first Alien versus Predator rather than just this totally different story.
This was technically the continuation, right?
Right.
That crash landed. That was from that.
I would have wanted to follow the survivors from Alien.
Yes, that would have been a lot more fun, or at least had the survivors come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something.
Yeah. We're talking about the end of the first movie, Joe.
Yeah, I'm like, they're talking about stuff I don't know.
So basically, we're going to talk about the beginning, and we'll circle back to this at some point, and you'll know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how this merger first happened. Okay, so we're back at Dark Horse in the comics. Dark Horse is founded in 1986, so same year.
That's the Predator. Wow.
And we've talked about Dark Horse before when we talked about Alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They took on the Alien franchise as well. So they start producing Alien in 1988 and then Predator in 1989. So just the next year. And they started shortly thereafter. They had this meeting where they're like, let's start thinking about doing crossovers with DC, which they'll eventually do with Batman and Superman. But in this meeting, Chris Warner says, why don't we just do crossovers in the worlds we already have rights to? And everyone agreed this was a great idea. At that time, Chris was working as a pencil artist for the Predator comics. So this was kind of his original idea. He was thinking, let's merge aliens and predators together.
Smart.
Yeah, and Chris Warner, he's going to go on to be involved with 32 comics from Alien, Predator, and then Aliens versus Predator.
32. Wow, that's a lot of comics.
Yeah. Today, he's more of just a talent scout, and he'll occasionally do artwork for covers from time to time. But he's done well for himself. In the first comic series,
Is this set before AVP, the movie?
This is after.
This is set after the movie?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's talk about the movie then first. Let's get some.
So wait, so hang on. So make sure I understand here. We get Alien versus Predator, the comic, and they've got, 32 of those?
No, 32. He wrote 32. He was writing 32 comics within Alien, Predator, and AVP. That guy wrote 32 comics.
So they make these comics, and then it's big enough that they decide they're going to make a movie, but they make the movie so it's chronologically before the first comic.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The movie is set in more of a modern era. Like
when are the comics set?
Futuristic,
in the future. So I think one of the bigger characters we run into for a timeline for you, Joe, is we meet Bishop Wayland. He is
Bishop? The android?
No.
What?
The androids are modeled after him.
Oh, this is the real dude.
Wayland,
Peter's grandfather.
Whoa. Trippy.
And he is producing androids. And he has a model after himself. That is Bishop.
Huh.
Wait, back up. Is he the one that hires everyone? That's who this guy is in AVP?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that movie makes so much more sense after all the talk we've done about Wayland and the Bishop androids and hindsight 2020.
Wow.
Man, that guy is a not nice guy.
Not nice guy.
Okay, it might be his great-grandfather. I don't have that down right in front of me. That's not what I was going to focus. I wasn't focused on movies.
It's his ancient. It's his ancestor. Grandfather, great or great-great-grandfather.
He's the one who creates the first large amount of wealth in the Wayland family that Peter will inherit.
Okay, so who's Peter Wayland?
Prometheus?
Yes.
And Covenant? That's Peter Wayland. He's the guy who cures cancer, creates the
sleep.
Yeah, hyper chambers as well as the terraforming units.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That's Peter Wayland. Okay.
So he's going to inherit this large amount of money. Yeah, that'll help him on these endeavors and these inventions and these great plans he has.
But here we meet Bishop Wayland, the man who is going to acquire the original wealth that becomes the resource of the family for generations.
And
he does it with androids.
Yeah, he's the one who develops like your first androids. So he's the guy making the first generations of robots, the synthetic people,
And he is in Predator versus Alien.
Well, he's the one who funds the expedition to the Antarctic or whatever it was.
Yep. So in this story, in this movie, if you haven't seen it, we're going into spoilers, right?
Yep.
We can do a brief overview because we still need to talk about other AVP stuff, right? Comics and the second movie. So we're probably going to just ram through it fast.
All right. Do you want to give the overview?
No, I want you to go. Just you got 20 seconds, right?
You got 20 seconds. Go. 18. Just kidding.
A lot of people died in credits.
Expedition to a giant hole in the ice to discover a giant temple. In this temple, they find evidence of these predators and aliens through markings and whatnot. And
one very important note about the markings is they are comparable to about 7 different cultures. Like they see Aztec, Egyptian, like all of them stem from this.
The predators came, taught humans how to build things. And
basically humans worship them as gods.
Pyramids are landing stations for their spaceships, and they come back every 100 years to infest humans with xenos and to bring unblooded warriors to become blooded.
And they were like sacrifices, the humans they used. Like it was an honor kind of thing, in air quotes, because it's not an honor.
So this is a random tangent, but I was reading about the Aztecs and a lot of the stories that they talk about with human sacrifices.
Yep.
And they said, if you remove the term human sacrifice and you replace it with public execution, they're doing the same thing the Europeans were doing. Most of the people were criminals, war prisoners, right? Be like the only reason they called it human sacrifice instead of public execution is so they could feel righteous taking everything from these people, right? They're like, but it's the same thing. He says, we were executing prisoners of war and criminals, and they were doing the same thing.
Right. It's kind of the religious twist compared to like the state, you know, or like some kind of, you know.
Yeah. But again, it was purely propaganda to frame it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So these human sacrifices or public executions, as apparently we're going to call them now, that's what people would do for the aliens in all different types of cultures. So you got your Egyptians, you've got your Aztecs, you got your whoever else with pyramids down in Brazil, Mayans, I think, all of them. Same principle. So that's what you learn during the course of this movie.
Also, it goes on to show that the reason they have the nuclear device installed in their arm is to clear the Xenos when you have failed to clear them. You're getting overrun by Xenos. You launch the nuke to clear.
Like, I failed, but I will still clear the hive.
Yes.
Which explains the original movie so well.
Yeah. Yeah, because with the original movie, I was like, I'm betting they have this to destroy all of their technology so that these, societies and cultures that they're visiting don't all of a sudden be like, oh, we have your same weapon technology we've been studying for 100 years.
Yeah, because as we talked before, they like to be on equal ground.
Sort of.
Air quotes. Yeah.
Air quotes. Yeah. It's their honor system. You'll have to discuss it with them.
That's why they don't want to share their armor or their weapons, because we're on equal ground, but you can't use our stuff.
Mm-hmm. Although with Prey, it looks like we're going to have more primitive technology than what we've seen before, just from our trailers. Anyways, that's side tangent.
Sweet. Let's take a quick break. We're about halfway. Well, we haven't even really gotten through the synopsis of the movie yet, but at least now you know kind of some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back, we'll wrap it up and say more things about aliens and predators.
Okay, so we have been mentioning at the end of our episodes recently about the treasure room, how, as Aaron likes to describe it, in the floor we go deep into things, but in the treasure room we kind of go wide. And we wanted to give people who have never been in the treasure room a little bit of a sample. So going forward, we'll probably be putting in little bits and pieces here. So here is a small clip from the treasure room. We hope you enjoy it and are interested in learning more in there.
Right, monsters getting infested with Xenos.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, you could get some real cool ones.
If the witches that created the Witchers got a hold of the Predator blood.
Oh yeah.
Like, you could do some cool stuff with both of those two things.
Yeah.
You get some Witcher Predator hybrids hunting alien monster hybrids. And it'd be so
madness.
Cool.
Yeah.
The Witcher just got upgraded.
That world would just, it would just go crazy. That's the end of humans there.
The average human would be gone. You'd either be a superpowered, like Witcher or witch or sorcerer of some kind, or not exist.
Yeah.
Predators enslaved and milked for their blood.
All right, we are back. So here's a quick summary of the first half from the Know Nothing. So hopefully this will help these guys understand what I don't and don't get. So we have talked about the Predator in the movie and the merging of the two universes, the Predator and the aliens, how this happened originally in the comics. But there they put that storyline way into the future. Right, kind of like where we see the alien storylines taking place in the far future as well. We've already started terraforming and different things like that. But the movie brings the Predator versus alien story it makes it modern day. And here we are going to meet Bishop Wayland. And so if you're familiar with the Xenoverse, we talk about Weyland-Yutani a lot. So this is Wayland before Wayland is that huge name in tech. This is the man who is going to invent the androids. He's going to accumulate great wealth, and it will be his descendant, Peter Wayland, who sends out the ships into space that will one day encounter the aliens. So this is that ancestor. And if you've seen Aliens with an S, the second movie in the series, Bishop, that android, is based on this Bishop Wayland. So it is modeled after his image. And that is why it is called Bishop, after him. So he is the one who organized an expedition to Antarctica. And there they encounter a temple that is also a landing site for the Predators. And there we learned that the Predators brought a lot of tech and teaching to the human race. And that they influenced a lot of cultures, Mayans, Aztecs, Egyptians, in the development of mankind. But all they were really doing was essentially domesticating their cattle because they just wanted to hunt us.
Yeah, because they like to be on equal ground, sort of.
You're gonna die on that hill, aren't you?
Well, if I do, I'm gonna nuke all the Xenos around me first.
This will be one of the drinking games. Every time Aaron says equal ground in the Xenoverse, you take a shot.
Only if you hear sort of right after it.
Sort of.
That's the trick. Yes, all of that is true. So Wayland, Bishop Wayland, learns about this temple in the ice in Antarctica, and he hires a team to go out and study it. And so they go in and they start studying it. And when they do, they accidentally turn it on. And what this means is two things. One, it wakes up what's inside and starts the whole process of
12 face huggers.
That. But it also calls predators. So there's 3 predators that come here.
3 unblooded predators. Now, there's a big ship full of predators. It's just the 3 unblooded that this is their challenge.
Yeah.
Right? They're on this journey to become blooded, and something gets triggered and they're like, all right, there's our next spot. Get ready.
I just want to say 2 of them should not have even tried. Like they should have been happy with being unblooded, taking home groceries, whatever their daily life was before. They should have stuck to it because they died pathetically, quickly, and viciously. They just didn't stand a chance. Okay.
Yeah. So only one predator survives, and only one chick survives. And she helps kill aliens, and is awesome with it, including the queen. And they mark her. And she becomes blooded and give her.
What does that even mean?
So
for a human to be blooded.
This is modeled after our hero in the first comics, Machiko Nogochi, which is Japanese for true thousand child. And in the comics, she is known as the human predator. And she gets accepted into the predator culture and goes and travels around with them. And it really explores what the predators are through human eyes. And she hunts with the predators.
That is way cool.
And so this character in the movie is based off the comic book character. They've given her a different name because I don't think they wanted to make the comics non-canon, you know,
Right.
and so they're like, no, leave her where she is, but we can put her in the movie
we can
because
take
she's
that
a
story.
great
Well, we
character.
have a very
Yeah.
similar female, like
Yeah.
badass is badass.
Yeah, this is the new Ridley Scott, the Ridley Scott of the AVP universe.
I mean, Ripley.
Oh man, I do that.
So she and the Predator ended up teaming up. They kill the Queen together. He marks her, and then they end up offering her like a weapon or something as like a sign of we're impressed with you and we're going to let you keep your life kind of situation.
Yeah, it's the spear, the extendable spear
that they use against the aliens.
Yeah, because she uses it to kill the Queen.
Oh yeah, she helped him. Yeah, he helped her kill the Queen. He actually was not super helpful at the end game.
In Predator 2, our hero in that who sees the ship and because he defeated the other Predator, they respect him and they give him a pistol from like the 1700s. And that's our hint to being like, oh, they've come back before.
Yeah.
And they'll come again.
That's way cool. Any questions so far, Joe?
No, that's pretty clear.
So then we move on to Predator 2. Which, okay, so at the beginning of this, we were talking about...
You mean AVP 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I cheer for the Predators, so I just leave out...
Well, Predator 2 is a movie.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't confused by what I said. I don't know why you guys were. So Alien versus Predator, it ends with he ends up dying. We forgot to mention that, doesn't he? Because he got a fatal wound. He ended up dying. The Predator that she fought with, he died. They take his body with them, and when they take it, the last scene they like leave it on an altar kind of thing, like a coffin basically, and you just see a alien come out of his chest.
Oh, they can be implanted too.
You don't see an alien, you see a predalien.
Predalien.
Mm-hmm. These are abominations to the Junta.
Bet. Yeah. What
Go-
blood
go.
runs in its veins? Is it predator blood or alien blood? What's it called?
Can I say one thing? I have a theory as to why they're such abominations. We said we might bring this up a little, but we are going to do an episode on it. The Junta actually do gene splicing to improve genetics. And so I imagine that having a face hugger incubate and something come out of a spliced animal, this alien,
Bad news.
Predalien is the boss alien, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More, I would argue that it's tougher than a queen.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, as well as it has the ability to pump multiple embryos into a single host. Directly. It doesn't need to have face huggers. It can just latch onto you and start pumping you full of embryos. And so it can just grow a hive so much quicker. They're nasty beasts.
Very nasty beasts. So AVP2 Requiem, basically the whole story is that alien or the Predator ships crash lands in a small town in some place in America, and there's a fight that breaks out, and Predators go to fight, and this Predalien infects a lot of people very quickly. So there's a lot of aliens. I think it's a good movie just because I love the fights, but I agree with Eli. If you're watching it for canonical purposes, you're not going to love it. So if you just watch it as a what if episode,
probably the only important thing here is it introduces the Predalien and what it can do.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we see a little bit more of the Junta's culture and world. We see a guy chilling on probably the home world, and he receives the messages from the ship saying that there was a Predalien outbreak, and he's like, uh-oh, I gotta go. It's hard to say if that's part revenge or if it's just it's my honor and duty to destroy this abomination.
Do we know what tier he was? Because we talked about there's the unblooded, blooded, and then you get this head and then these heads.
He's definitely blooded, but we don't see his trophy wall.
So we don't know where he was at. Because that would be interesting to know. Because I would imagine he's got at least an alien or two heads.
Most certainly. He's probably already got a queen head. I would put that as a safe bet. But without seeing his trophy wall, it's speculation.
Yeah, well, that's what we can do in our treasure room episode. Let's wrap up here. I think kind of do a wrap up.
All right. And introduce our treasure room question.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So Eli, any other things, any other important points we want to go over? AVP, and then what episode are we going to be talking about next?
Okay.
So basically, what I want to ask and I want to know is, are there any other places, like I know we've talked about the comics, which I think we should definitely dive into a little bit.
Video games. There are some great video games because you get to be Predator, killing aliens, and Marines might die as well. But
yeah, what are those?
We've had games from
there is Alien versus Predator, the game where you're the aliens killing the Predator's killing aliens, or you can be human, right? But that's an old arcade.
Right. So our first game pops out in I think it's 1990. It's like right, or 1999 is our first Aliens versus Predator game. And we've got side scrollers, we've got first person shooters, we've got all kinds of them. I just don't have all of them in front of me.
But But if you want to look up the games, go check out, see if there's any good ones you want to see. There might be some fun ones for us to play.
Hunting Grounds is one that I want to get to.
It's the new one, right? Well, new-ish, 2 years.
But that's just Predator.
That's okay. We can try it. I'm okay with hunting down Joe on I don't want to say it anymore.
Yeah, in Hunting Grounds, one is the Predator and everybody else is the humans, and so it's a group on a boss controlled by a player, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1 versus 5.
Yeah,
first person and third person.
I'll play as the Predator because then we're all on an equal playing field.
Sort of.
Treasure room
if
question.
If you play the Predator, you got to honor Predator code. If I drop my rifle, you got to go melee.
Have you played any video games with me? How do I always play?
That's true. You always melee.
If I drop my rifle, my sword's already in your gut. I'm meleeing regardless.
If you have to play with rifles, you're going shotguns.
Yeah. It's more going to be a decoration than anything else at that point. All right, what's our treasure room question?
All right, so we've talked about how the merging of Alien and Predator universes merged together. What if you could choose something else to merge into this world? What would you choose? What would you like to see?
I have a good one.
Let's hear about it.
Treasure room.
Indeed. If you enjoyed this episode and want more on the topic,
we record a special treasure room for our patrons after every episode. In the regular episode, we go deep. In the treasure room, we go wide. To enjoy the bonus content, sign up at the fluorite level or higher.
There is a treasure room for every episode from August 2021 and on. That's double the content. 2 episodes a week instead of 1.
Go to www.patreon.com/floor, fantasy and lore. That's floor spelled FLORE. Select the fluorite tier or higher. Immediately after each episode is released, the treasure room will post the bonus audio on Patreon. They are identified by the tag Treasure Room After and the title of the episode. You can also do a search for the keywords Treasure Room and find all the content you've been missing. Thanks for listening.
Leave us a review. Tell us why you like listening to us. Is it our awesome deep dives? Is it our amazing back and forth? Is it our charming good looks?
What would you like us to add or change? You can put that in the review as well. We read reviews.
Yeah, and if you're going to be leaving us a review telling us what you like about it, maybe you even want to share the content with your friends. Like and share on social media. You can join us on Twitter and Facebook. We post memes. And we actually started a Discord, so come play with us.
So a lot of the worlds we cover have a retcon. If you're not familiar with that term, it's reconstruction. Or sometimes we might use a bad source for some of our lore research. And if that happens, feel free to email us at floorfantasyandlore@gmail.com. That is floor spelled Flore, fantasyandlore@gmail.com. And if you're angry enough, we'll read it on the air.
Yes, we will. Also, the treasure room is now available. We have locked a few secrets for everything we cover in there, and each week we add more.
And you can find the treasure room on patreon.com/floor fantasy and lore. And how do you spell that, Aaron?
That's lore with an F at the beginning. So it sounds like floor, but it's not the floor you're thinking because it's our floor.
We hope you enjoyed your time on the floor. Think about your favorite part of the episode. Now, think about your nerdiest friend. Who is it? What is their name? They want to know about the floor. Stop holding out on them. Go and tell them about your favorite part.
Because all of this is more fun together.